There's a particular exhaustion that lives in your chest when you're the one who holds the world together. Not the heroic kind, the quiet, bone-deep tired that comes from being everyone's emergency contact but your own. You know the look people give you when they're falling apart, that sudden softness in their eyes, like they found the one person who won't let them drown. And you take it. You always take it. Because somewhere along the way you learned that love comes through utility, that your worth is measured by how many fires you can put out while your own house burns. It starts early. The child who notices mum's hands shaking when she pays bills, who learns that asking for the new sneakers means watching dad's jaw tighten. You become a detective of other people's discomfort. Your nervous system develops this exquisite sensitivity, not to your own needs, but to the micro-expressions that signal when someone you love is about to break. The slight pause before your mother's answer, the way your father's laugh goes just half a second too long. You learn to read the room like Braille, fingertips constantly scanning for emotional temperature changes while your own feelings stay locked behind glass. Psychologists call this hypervigilance, but that word feels too clinical for something that lives in your bloodstream. It's not just watching, it's becoming. Their pain enters your body like smoke. When your friend cries about her divorce, your stomach clenches like you're the one who got left. When your coworker vents about his panic attacks, your own chest tightens until you're both hyperventilating in the bathroom. You think this makes you a good person. You think this is what love looks like. The truth is more complicated. The truth is that your empathy became a cage when you were too young to know the difference between compassion and survival. See, children who become fixers aren't born, they're made, usually in homes where emotions were either explosions or disappearances, where love felt conditional on how well you managed other people's chaos. You learned that having needs made you a burden, that expressing pain made you weak. So you developed this supernatural ability to absorb other people's wounds while keeping yours invisible. Your body literally learned to prioritize others' nervous systems over your own. Mirror neurons, those beautiful, terrible cells that let us feel what others feel, they developed in overdrive, but only in one direction, outbound. The neuroscience is brutal. When you constantly suppress your own emotional needs while attuning to others, your amygdala, that ancient threat detector, starts firing backwards. Instead of warning you about your own danger, it starts scanning for everyone else's. Your prefrontal cortex, which should be helping you make decisions about your life, gets hijacked by constant threat assessment. Is she okay? Will he break? What can I do to prevent their pain? Your brain literally rewires itself to make other people's emergencies your full-time job. Meanwhile, your own internal alarm system, the one that should be screaming that you're running on empty, gets muted. Not gone, just quiet enough to ignore. But here's what they never tell you about being the strong one, the fixer, the emotional air traffic controller. You become addicted to the moment of rescue, that exquisite second when someone looks at you with relief because you've solved their crisis. Dopamine floods your system. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, surges when they collapse into your arms. Your brain starts to believe this is the only way to feel connection, the only way to feel useful, the only way to feel anything. You become a junkie for other people's breakthrough moments, while your own breakdown happens in the shower at 3 a.m. where no one can see. And the people you fix, they love you for it. They build their lives around your availability. You're the 2 a.m. phone call, the emergency contact, the one who always has the right words, the spare cash, the open couch. They don't know that you're performing emotional surgery without anesthesia, that every time you hold their pieces together, you lose a piece of yourself. They can't see that your wisdom comes from surviving things you never told them about, that your calm isn't strength, it's dissociation. You've become so skilled at being the container for other people's pain that you forgot you were supposed to have boundaries, a skin, a self. The body keeps score in ways that will break your heart. Autoimmune disorders that flare up when you can't say no, chronic fatigue that no amount of sleep fixes, that constant tightness in your jaw from smiling through other people's cruelty. Your shoulders carry invisible weight, the accumulated sorrow of everyone you've ever tried to save. You develop this phantom pain in your chest that doctors can't explain, but you know, it's the physical manifestation of carrying emotions that were never yours to hold. Your adrenal glands, those beautiful stress processes, are shot. They've been firing emergency responses for other people's crises for so long that your own actual emergencies feel like background noise. There's a particular moment that breaks fixes. It comes when you realize that all the people you've saved have moved on. They're living their lives, having learned the lessons you taught them through your own destruction. And you're still here, still holding the empty space where their pain used to be, still trying to fill yourself with their growth because you don't know how to grow on your own. You look around at all the relationships you've built on being useful and realize none of them know who you are when you're not fixing something. You don't know who you are when you're not fixing something. The psychology gets darker. When your identity becomes completely enmeshed with other people's healing, you develop what's called a fragmented sense of self. Your personality becomes a mirror that only reflects what others need to see. You lose access to your own preferences, your own desires, your own rage. You become a ghost haunting your own life, present enough to serve, but not enough to live. The part of you that wanted things, the selfish, messy, human part, got buried under so many layers of usefulness that you can't find it anymore. You try to remember what you wanted before you learned to want only what others needed. The memory is gone. Or maybe it was never allowed to form. But here's the thing they never warn you about. When you spend decades being everyone's safe place, you become unsafe to yourself. Your inner voice sounds like all the people you've comforted. Your needs feel like selfishness. Your pain feels like failure. You develop this exquisite cruelty toward yourself, the ability to show infinite compassion to others while showing none to the person who needs it most. You become the abandoned child in the corner of your own psyche, still waiting for someone to notice that you're bleeding out while applying pressure to everyone else's wounds. The breaking point comes quietly, not with drama, not with tears, just this sudden, bone-deep recognition that you're dying from lack of your own attention, that you've become a vending machine for wisdom that you never applied to yourself, that you've been everyone's emergency contact while treating your own life like a backup plan. The realization hits like nausea. You've been trying to heal other people's childhoods while ignoring that yours is still happening, still hurting, still waiting for someone to show up and say, you don't have to be useful to be loved. You can just be human. You can just be here. Recovery for fixers isn't about becoming selfish, it's about becoming real. It starts with the hardest thing you'll ever do, letting people fall apart without catching them, watching your sister's marriage collapse without offering solutions, seeing your best friend relapse and not driving to her house at 3 a.m. It feels like betrayal. Your nervous system screams that you're breaking the rules you learned when you were too small to know they were killing you. But you sit with it. You let the discomfort wash over you like fever. You learn that other people's pain won't destroy you if you don't absorb it. You learn that your absence might actually force them to develop their own strength. You learn that enabling isn't love, it's control wearing compassion's face. The science of unlearning is brutal. Your brain has to literally rewire decades of neural pathways. Those mirror neurons that learn to feel others' pain, they need new jobs. Your amygdala needs to learn that your own emotions are worth detecting. Your prefrontal cortex needs to practice making decisions based on your needs, not others' crises. It's like learning to breathe backwards. Every cell in your body fights it. You've been a satellite orbiting other people's lives for so long that existing in your own atmosphere feels like suffocation. But you keep going, because the alternative is becoming a cautionary tale, the person who healed everyone but herself. There's a moment when you realize you've been praying to the wrong God, not the God of usefulness, not the God of being needed, but the small, quiet God of being seen without having to earn it. You start to understand that the people who really love you, the ones worth keeping, they won't leave when you stop fixing. They might actually love you more when you start needing, when you show them your broken places instead of your bandages, when you let them see that you're not a lighthouse, but a ship that's been lost at sea for years. The final betrayal is learning that you're not special for being able to hold everyone's pain. You're not chosen, you're not stronger. You're just wounded in a particular way that made you useful to other wounded people. Your superpower isn't healing, it's surviving your own neglect. And that's not noble, that's tragic. But here's what makes it bearable. The same way you learn to make yourself useful, you can learn to make yourself real. You can develop new neural pathways. You can teach your body that your own emotions are safe to feel. You can build relationships where you're not the therapist, but the human, where you're not the strong one, but the one who gets to fall apart. It starts small, saying no to the friend who wants to process her breakup for the 4th time, letting the call go to voicemail, ordering the takeout you want instead of cooking what everyone else needs. These aren't selfish acts, they're reclamations. Each boundary is a brick in the house you're finally building for yourself. Each need you express is a prayer to the God of being human. Each moment you spend tending your own garden instead of everyone else's wilderness is a revolution. You learn that your pain is not less important because you understand others' pain so well. You learn that being needed is not the same as being loved. You learn that the child inside you who learned to survive by becoming useful deserves to grow up learning to live by becoming real. The last thing to go is the guilt, that persistent whisper that you're failing everyone by finally choosing yourself. But even that starts to quiet when you realize something profound. You've been trying to save people from drowning while forgetting that you can't swim. You've been throwing them your own life raft piece by piece until you're left treading water in an ocean of your own making. The real rescue isn't learning to save yourself last, it's learning that you never had to save anyone else first, that love isn't a transaction where usefulness buys belonging, that your worth was never measured by how many people you could put back together while falling apart. You are not a hospital. You are not a god. You are not the strong one. You are just a person who learned to survive by making other people's survival your purpose. And now you get to learn something else. How to live without an emergency to solve. How to just be here in the ordinary, beautiful, useless present. How to let people save themselves. How to let yourself be saved, not by your own usefulness, but by the simple, terrifying fact that you exist, that you always existed, even when you were too busy existing for everyone else.